Hello, beautiful artists. I'm Kelly Hernig, and welcome to my 100-Day Project. On Mondays and Thursdays, we'll be exploring 3 colors, then paint a subject to see what magic they create. Thank you so much for being here. Now let's go paint. Today we're going to explore 3 more colors. I'm giving this Sennelier bright yellow green another chance. I love the brightness of it, but I do not know how to use it. As you can see, it stands out like a sore thumb amongst all of my muted colors. I am trying to make it fit in because I do like the brightness of it, but in the same instance, I don't like the brightness of it. So today we're going to try to dull it down. If you're interested in the supplies, I have a 100-day supply video. The link is down below. So let me introduce you to our colors. I've got Daniel Smith Buff Titanium, Sennelier bright yellow green, and then I have Schmincke Tundra green. Tundra green is a granulating color, and it's one of those colors that separates into 2 different colors. You'll see if I get it wet, I will try to make a note to get it wet for you guys so you can see, but it is a really dull green that has undertones of like a sepia color or like a yellow ochre color. That is the main reason that I bought that color, is because I liked the undertones of it. Hopefully we'll see if they come out in this drawing as well. So Sennelier is in the middle here. I'm going to start with the Buff Titanium at the top, then go into Sennelier bright yellow green, and then go to the Schmincke color. Our specimen today is this kind of leaf. I like this, that the little leaf is almost adhered together, and look at this little point here. I just thought it was fun. Again, I go out to my yard and I find leaves and just make them into the subject for the day. On my palette, I have Tundra green here, Sennelier green here, or the bright yellow green here, and then I have my Buff Titanium here. I think I'm gonna need a little more Sennelier green. If you use this green or this bright of a green and you get beautiful mixes, please list in the comments below. I would like to know what you're using. Maybe I could try those. We're going to start with Buff Titanium. Now, Buff Titanium and Gray Titanium are pretty similar. They're both pretty thick colors. They have a little bit of white mixed into them, but I like both of them for how they mute my colors. Okay, that looks pretty good. I might need a little more for the mixing. Remember, it's watercolor, so add some water. I tend to make mine a little drier. So this is a lot warmer than the Gray Titanium, but I love it just the same. This is the color that got me hooked on it, and because I used it all the time, I went to the Gray Titanium. Okay, we're going to start adding this Sennelier green here. Wish me luck. Look at it, already changed that to a brightness. Holy smokes, that was fast. Wow, that's intense. I'm almost holding my breath here dealing with this color. I will be quickly going to Sennelier, to the bright color here. Let me add one more mix, and then I will head to the straight green. My hope was that the Buff Titanium would mute it down a little bit. It did in its first first couple hues, but the intensity just took over. Again, this is a thicker color. A little more water is required. Tundra green requires more water too, so I want to make sure that I get plenty of this to mix with that. Okay. So, so that's what the buff titanium did. You can see it's got several nice shades here, or values. And then that's the real intense color, the pure color there. So I am liking this color combination up here. So let's see what this Tundra does to it. I'm watching it change. I'm already liking this tone here. You can see it's starting to get a little more muted, which is why really I was hoping the Tundra would take care of that brightness. That's looking nice. Oh, I forgot to splash. I'm more worried about the color than the splashing. That's not good. Now this is starting to get into my colors here. I like that already. Okay, I'm going to see if I can lift any of that up there. Again, I let it dry too long, so I'm going to blot with just a paper towel, and let's see if they lift. Nice. Now notice in the Sennelier color here, it didn't really lift. Let's see. Let's try that again. Let it sit a couple seconds. So what we need it to do is go down to the white of the paper, the water. It's lifting a little bit. I got too big of a drop there. Okay. Let's continue with our quest here. We look at that color. I like when it has just a hint of that little undertone of that bright green. I could have went a little darker there. I'm going to do that over. That's better. I'm rinsing my brush now, and I'm going to go pure Tundra green. You can see how thick that paint is. Now I'm liking these values a lot down here. These will be very useful. This whole palette actually would be useful in a landscape. I'm not sure about these ones in the exact middle, so this pure color I'm not sure that I would use. However, I'm really liking it the way it mixed here and here, especially if I added more buff up here and made the buff a little stronger to combat that green. I think it would be really, really nice. Okay. So I want you to see that. So see what I'm talking about? If I had made the buff a little heavier, I think I could have gotten a couple more values with that warm tone in it. And this is the Sennelier by itself, the bright yellow green, bright yellow green. And then this is the Tundra green. Now, can you see in there, see that little bit in that splash there, that you're getting that undertone of that yellow that I said, like a yellow orange in there? That's why I like this color. You'll see it more when we go to do this leaf, because what's going to happen is I'm going to have a lot more water. Remember, when you're using granulating colors or colors that separate, like this is really a separating color, the more water it has, the more time it has to play. So when the pool is like this, the water is really tight, but the more water it has, it kind of opens up like this, and it starts expelling and coming into the two different colors that it is made of. And you can see here in my palette, let's see if you can see that. Do you see the brown coming out of that green? Yes, that's the tundra green, and that's why we're getting this little loveliness right here. All right, because I wanted the Sennelier, however, I want to play with more buff titanium and the Sennelier. Because remember, it's those values that I'm really curious about. I want to avoid it by itself because I'm trying to figure out how to use it on my palette. That is not always easy. But this I can handle. I like that color a lot. You can see I got it pretty bright. So I'm going to rinse my brush and just add some water to that and let it kind of move and mingle. I'm going into the tundra green. All right, let's splash some of this. I want to try the tundra green and the buff titanium too. We didn't really have that in our mix, remember? So let me add it up here. I like that. Can you see the Sennelier color kind of coming through? So I want to add a little bit more of that brightish green here. Okay, in that spot, I want to add quite a bit of water, so I'm just deliberately placing water there. I'm seeing a little bit of the color come through, but I want to see a little bit more. I want us to get excited about what we're seeing. And these colors are really drying quite quickly. And I don't know if that's the buff or the tundra gray or tundra green. Sorry about that. I'm going to add just buff by itself. Stealing some of that water from that corner. Here we go. We are in spring right now, and this seems very spring-like to me. I think the addition of that seigneur color is really bringing it out. Just water on my brush. I'm going to kind of take some of that off. Got a lot of water on here. Okay, I have some ugly edges over here, and that's because of the water. So I'm going to come in with a little bit of tundra and the green. That's better. I know, I'm really picky. So this is wet. Are you seeing that little brown tone up there? That is the separation, and I'm loving that. I'm going to add a little bit more water to that area. I'm going to tip my book though. There we go. Okay, I will leave this tipped up and I will come back when it's dry. My leaf is dry and I want to bring this closer so you can see all the beautifulness. Can you see all the granulation of this color here? This is the tundra green. So anywhere you see kind of a brownish color like that or like that up there, that is from the tundra green. It just separates enough to make it look really interesting. So again, my colors were Daniel Smith Buff Titanium, Seigneur Bright Yellow Green, and Schminke Tundra Green. I hope you enjoyed this session of color mixing. I know working with greens is one of my favorite things, so thank you for watching. I did a little sample of the tundra green by itself. You can see it's still, can you see it's still wet? But I wanted to show you how it separates. So are you seeing all the different colors? It looks like a rock. This is why I like this color. It's great for rocks and bark, and I use it a lot in nature leaves because of how it separates and how it pools the color. See how it makes nice dark colors, but yet it also separates into this wonderful color. So this is Schminke Tundra Green that's sold in a set of tundra colors, or you can buy the big tube of it on its own. But it's one of my favorite colors. If you'll remember, I used it on my first day, Tundra Green, and it just really has a lot of magic to it. You never know what to expect, and I like when a color does that. I like when a color keeps me guessing. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing my 100 days. Please like or comment if you're inspired to do so. I'd appreciate it.